Hello everyone, welcome to today's Python topic. So today I wanted to create a program that would help a new golfer learn some of the simple lingo in golf. And what I mean by lingo, I'm just going to focus on what a par is and what a bogey is and what a birdie is. Par actually means two different things, um, but technically the same thing. So par is how many swings or turns it would take an average golf player to actually get the ball to and into the hole. Par also, so say if you take the same exact amount of swings that the hole is, so say if the hole is a par 5 and you take 5 swings to actually get the ball in the hole, then that also means that you got a par. So you take one less swing than the par itself, then that would be a birdie. And say if you take more swings than the par itself, that would be a bogey. Um, and to actually create this program, I'm going to use boolean logic. And what I mean by boolean logic, I mean I'm going to be using comparators, so less than or equal to. Sorry, that's the same exact thing. Um, so less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and then I could also use not equals to, and I could also use and or. So basically, I'll compare two things to each other, and then depending on whether that's true or not, I can actually have my program output certain things. And this goes hand in hand with if-else statements, so that's also going to be something I'm going to use in my program. So to begin with, I actually want to get some input from the user. So first I want to get their level input, so I can actually ask the user what level are you, and then I'll put a new line here. Okay, so now I could get a level from the user, so I'll use that later on in my program. Next, I actually want to know what par of the hole is, so I'll make sure this is an integer. And I'll put an input here, and then what par is the hole. Okay, and then last input that I actually want to get from a user, I actually want to see how many swings they took, which is also going to be an integer. Input, I spelled input wrong. Input, how many swings did you take? And then actually up here, I want to, since I'm going to use comparators for my string, I actually want to make sure that they input the correct string that I'm looking for. So I'll prompt them with for intermediate and then advanced. Actually, I'll prompt them with inputs they can actually input. So I'm gonna look for these three inputs when I'm actually comparing things. Okay, so now I have variables that are actually gonna have inputs, and I could compare the user inputs. So like I said, I'm going to use if-else statements to compare things. So first I'll put an if statement. This if statement, I'm going to make sure, or I'm not going to make sure, but I'm going to check if the user got a par or not. So that's going to be the first condition I'm going to test for. So that would be if swings is equal to par. Then I actually want to print you got a par. So as you can tell right there, I actually ended up using the equal sign. So if swings is equal to par, then since I'm actually not assigning swings to par, and I'm comparing them, you actually end up using the double equal sign, and that's a comparator. So that's how you compare things in Python. It's just something I want to note. And then so next I could do if-else statement. So if swings does not equal par, then I can actually output you having a hard time here. You did not get a par. Okay, so that first if-else statement actually uses is equal to and is not equal to. So that's how I'm going to test for par. And next thing is next. I want to actually test for if they got a bogey or a birdie. So next I could put if swings is less than par. And then this is where I could use the and. So and I'm going to use a little bit of math here. Swings. So par is par minus swings. So this is how I test if it's for a bird or a birdie. So like I said, if you get one less than par, so that's what this will do. Actually, see how much less you got than par, and it'll compare it to one. So if you get one less than par, then I can actually print you got a birdie. Okay, so first things first, the only way that this can actually execute is if this holds true and this holds true, this statement right here. So that's how the and works. In order for it to actually execute this, like I just said, these both statements have to hold true. That's how the and works. So if this and this is true, then it'll do this. But else if swings is greater than par, I can actually output you got you got a bogey. And bogey, you can do bogey plus 1, plus 2. So basically, after you're done, once you're over par, then it's just bogey after that. But it's a little more complicated than that, but we'll just say that for now. So next, so that's I tested for birdie and bogey now. So next thing I want to actually do here is I want to test the level of the golfer himself or themselves. And if they're a beginner, I just always want to output that they had a good game because they're just learning. Otherwise, if they're intermediate or advanced, if you got more than par, I can actually output that. Oh, you'll have better luck next time or something like that. So let's test for that condition as well. So if swings is less than or equal to, or not swings, sorry about that. Or actually, yeah, it is swings. If swings is less than or equal to par, or if level is equal to beginner, which is a string, so I have to make sure I put that there, then I want it to output you had a good game, or hole I could put, but I'm going to put game. If I guess I could just put an else statement here because I'm not really going to test for anything other than that. Better look next time. Okay, so real quickly, I'm going to describe this last condition I put here. So if swings is actually less than or equal to par, whether you're a beginner or actually intermediate or advanced, you had a good game because you didn't get bogey. But say if you're a beginner, no matter what you actually end up playing, say you play like a really bad game, but since you're a beginner, actually also output that you had a good game. But if those conditions aren't met, then it will just say better luck next time, meaning that you're not a beginner and you probably got over par, so better luck next time. That's how the or statement works. So if this holds true, or even if this holds true, then it'll actually output that. But if not, then it'll output that. So that's how or works. So or is either it's this or this, and then for and it has to be this and this, if that makes sense. So now I can actually run this program, and to keep things short, I'm only going to do one possibility, And what level are you? I'll actually put beginner to show you that I'm gonna get way over par, and it'll still output that I had a good game, just because I am a beginner for this last condition here. So I'll put beginner. What par is the hole? Say 3. Like I said, I play on a par 3. Might actually have to expand this just a little bit. That didn't really help too much, but 3. How many swings do you take? Say I took 7 swings, because actually I cap it at 6. Say I took 6 swings. So you did not get a par, you got a bogey, and you had a good game. That's actually the output we're looking for here, because you did get a bogey, but like I said, if you are a beginner, you can say you had a good game, because you're just learning. So all my conditions held true. Let me clear this, and let's try it again with an intermediate. So I'll actually end up doing 2. So I could do intermediate. What par is the hole? We could put 3 again. How many swings did you take? 4. So this shouldn't output that I had a good game, because I'm an intermediate player. I should actually be able to get 3. But yeah, so I did get a bogey, but it also says better luck next time, because I got over par. And yeah, this is my quick little, I guess, lingo for golf, and I hope you actually enjoyed it. Thank you.